the handle of the club comes right down in here, and then it goes to your left leg, and then the handle of the club comes up, and that pushes the club head down. So when the handle goes up, it throws the club head down.
Okay.
It's doing this.
Yeah.
The handle goes up.
He's higher. Let's walk over here, Mike. It's something I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
A little area for this spot I kind of risk. All right, Mike, something I wanted to talk to you about as far as like chipping and then also into full swing. It goes into full swing shots, but something that I've heard some of these golf scientists talk about with parametric acceleration and a flat spot down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Where there's a point with chipping where the club head is going down, but the handle is coming up.
Yeah.
In a little bit of a way. And I see a big problem with golfers in their full swings and also chipping where maybe the handle never gets low enough, so they have to let it out.
Yeah.
Or it gets too low, and then they'd never have enough time to. So how do we kind of get that sweet spot of there was a great video somebody took of Tiger practicing the other day, just chipping, and you can really see it gets to about here, and then the handle really comes up, and it's like that. So we want to hit down on the ball, but the hands go up. It's a weird technical thing.
Well, yeah, there's a point. There's a point. If I sit up here and I let my left arm straighten out like this.
Yeah.
And my left arm's in a straight line with the club shaft. That's kind of like the bottom of the arc. So from that point on, the handle's going to come up. So from there, the handle goes up. So, you know, if I put the handle way back here, I mean, we're in trouble with the handle going up.
Okay.
But if I put the handle where the club's in line with my arm, so the handle and the club shaft's in a straight line, that kind of gives me a point where that's the bottom of the pendulum. From there, everything works up because that's the bottom of the pendulum. So think about it as a clock. Once the clock reaches the bottom of the pendulum, then this starts to go up. What you don't want is for this to keep going down.
Okay.
So a pendulum, if you think about it this way, makes a lot more sense. A pendulum, it's constantly swinging down until it reaches its apex, and then what does it do? It swings up. Okay, so at some point in time, it reaches its low point, and then it goes up. It doesn't get to the low point and keep going along the low point.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just dealing with a pendulum. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But what's confusing to me is that I've heard people say that in the full swing and then chipping is a little different, but basically the same, where the low point of the hands is earlier than the low point of the club.
Well, yeah, the handle reaches the low point here.
Yeah.
And then the club head is still descending,
so
because there's still
going down and the hands are going up.
Well, because the wrists haven't totally unhinged.
Okay.
So the hands have reached their low point here.
Mm-hmm.
But see, my wrists haven't totally unhinged. So now as I'm going for, my wrists are unhinging and the club head's moving faster than the handle is
now
moving.
we can see like your watch is starting to rise.
Right.
But the club head's going down.
Well, because the club head, my wrists haven't totally unhinged. So here the handle's reached this low point.
Yeah.
But my wrist hasn't totally unhinged. If I was like this, then the two would match and they'd be the same. But because there's either flexion, there's flexion in my wrist, or there's their own radial deviation, or there's hinge in my wrist.
Yes.
So the handle's reached its low point, but my wrist hasn't unhinged. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So the handle's not going down anymore, but the club head has to keep going down because my wrist hasn't come back to where it started.
Okay.
That's why that's why they say, well, the handle's gone down, it's going up, and the club head's going down. Yeah. Well, that's because your wrist hasn't totally unhinged yet.
Okay.
So once see this, the handle stops going down right here.
Yes.
But my wrist hasn't totally unhinged, so the handle starts going up and my wrist unhinges. So my wrist unhinges and the handle goes up. So when you watch these guys hit shots, the handle of the club is going up and the club head's going down.
So if we want to develop this, because it's kind of a weird feeling, and we want to get a little bit more shallow, especially in the chips and then also into the full swing, what's a good way around the greens to kind of feel that?
Well, I just tell people, I say, look, the handle of the club comes right down in here, and then it goes to your left leg, and then the handle of the club comes up, and that pushes the club head down. So when the handle goes up, it throws the club head down.
Okay.
It's doing this.
Yeah.
The handle goes up, club head goes down. If the handle stays going forward like this, it doesn't make the club head go down.
Oh, yeah.
So the handle coming up, this coming up,
It assists the club head.
It's the assist,
okay.
exactly. So the handle going up makes the club head go down and under the ball.
Yeah, a lot of times when people get the chip yips, you see them go like, they get confused in the downness of it, and they go like that.
Yeah.
You don't see this flow to it. Like that.
Well, it doesn't have this flow here where the handle.
It happens much more naturally in one-handed, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, with one hand here, then the handle goes up. And when the handle goes up, it throws the club head forward.
Yeah.
So Joe Nichols, who was, again, he used to have me take the handle like this, and he'd have me get right here, and then he'd have me pull the handle back as it went up, and that would throw the club head. That would throw the club head forward. So it would stall the handle and throw the club head forward. So this would pull the handle up and throw the club head forward.
Let me try that. Not that, but that feeling.
No, the other way.
Okay. This and then
That
this.
one.
Oh yeah.
There you
kind of reach the end and then.
Yeah. And this pulls. Go ahead, go. And then this pulls the handle back and up, and that throws the club head. There you go. And that throws the club head forward and under the ball. There you go. So it's not that the handle reaches this low point, and then but your wrists haven't unhinged. Mm-hmm. So as the handle now starts coming up, it throws the club head down.
Yeah.
So the handle going up throws the club head down.
Right. So when people are doing like our line drill that you have beginners and everybody do really, where you're trying to make a divot on that side of the line, a lot of times when people do that, then it leads to over the top or whatever else, and they get on this side and they're just always down.
Yeah, they're
Whereas
always.
This little move, this kind of uncoupling move you're talking about, you wouldn't do that.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
No, it's because then you're coming down, and the handle's coming up, and the club head's going down, and it throws the club head forward. And and the other reason these guys love that is because then it shallows the club out.
Yeah.
It shallows the club out and it exposes the bounce. So especially in the short game, it makes that happen. So the club doesn't do this and dig this way.
Yeah.
It makes this happen where the club hits the ground and it skids and bounces.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you're interested in more about this, go click the subscribe button to this video. Really important that you do that, and I appreciate that a lot. And if you go to the description of this video, you'll see more information about using the Be Better Golf discount at malaskagolf.com, a place with thousands or hundreds of hours of videos and thousands of different tips to really help you get better as you're getting more serious about golf. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right, that's a wrap.